Hey guys, I've really been wanting to do this for a while. We recently hit over 500 subscribers, and I mean, it may not be a huge sum, but to me, it really is an achievement. And I really mean that because I've been working on this channel since December of 2019. It's almost been 3 years, and it's something that I've really grown to care about and nurture and take care of, and really put a lot of effort into maintaining and making sure it grows and reaches a lot more people, and that I also get to express my thoughts and opinions um, on anything, and also a platform to showcase my work and the projects that I'm working on. And it's something to be grateful for, and it's definitely something to celebrate. And I thought, you know what? Let's do a Q&A. And I think we have some interesting questions for this Q&A. I will definitely try to keep it short, and the approach to this Q&A is going to be different than the rest. Basically, the way the other Q&As on the channel so far were edited is they're just basically videos. Um, where it's me narrating over a bunch of videos and images, and I thought that for a Q&A this time I should go for a more different approach, and so I thought, you know what, let's go for a more podcast-esque approach for this Q&A. um, so there are not going to be any videos, or at least I hope so. Or there are not going to be any like specific photos. This is just me saying the questions and answering them. And it's a podcast, so you could be doing anything else and listening to us on the side as well, if you would like to do that. So, you know what? Let's start the Q&A. So our first question is, why did you start the channel? Okay, so as I sort of grew into loving movies, I realized that I'm talking a lot about them, and I am like having really strong opinions, and I'm able to somewhat articulate why something did or did not work for me. And I would talk about it to my friends or to someone I know, and it sounds weird, but sometimes they just ask me to shut up, and they'll just be like, dude, just shut up. No one wants to really listen to you. And I was like, oh, and that demotivated me a little. But then I realized that, you know, there has to be an audience for this sort of thing, right? Because it's much better to find a place where people would be willing to listen to you on their own terms, rather than you talking to someone who's maybe not interested, right? So if you are interested in listening to my opinion, you'll click on my video on your own choice. And so then I thought, what's the obvious route? YouTube. And it's not my first rodeo on YouTube. I initially had a drawing YouTube channel where I had uploaded a few drawings, and it was very amateurish, but I was starting out. I deleted that channel. You can't find it now. But it wasn't my first rodeo. And then I decided, you know what? I know a little bit of editing. Let's start off with YouTube, and the rest is history. Where do you want the channel to go? So yeah, I think one of the main reasons I started the channel is because I just wanted a platform where I could honestly share my opinions and thoughts, and as I've said in the intro, a place to put out my stuff and for people to see it and acknowledge it and appreciate it or criticize it. It's all an ever evolving and learning medium. I mean, as of now, I like where I am. Not saying that I would love to stick here. I would like to do reviews. I would like to do a lot more video essays. Where do I want the channel to go? I wanna get into more projects, more hands-on deck approach. A lot more short films. Put that stuff out as well. I don't think I have a specific goal for the channel to reach. One thing I do want to know is, as of now, I do not want to make it a sort of like an organization type. I mean, I know I'm too small for that, but currently I like it that it's just me and my own thing. And I will have a few guests pop in sometimes, and there are going to be a few collaborations that I'm open to, sure. But I want this to remain solely my thing. Favorite soundtrack? Oh boy. Look, I can never tell you a favorite, but I can tell you what I have been listening to now. And currently, these days, I've been listening to the soundtrack of The Social Network and RRR every day on repeat. Like, I know all of it by heart. And of course, the Social Network soundtrack is just freaking amazing. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross obviously did a great job, and it's an obvious pick for one of the best soundtracks in film. Triple R 2 also has a fantastic soundtrack. I've seen the movie so many times. I'm so obsessed with it. Everyone who follows me online knows how obsessed I am with it. And I've listened to the soundtrack so many times that you play any moment within the soundtrack and I will be able to tell you what scene is going on at this moment. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I've been listening to the soundtrack of these two films on repeat recently at least. When did your love for cinema really start? I mean, here's the thing, right? As a kid, you're always enthralled by these movies. But I think for it to really stick is something different. Um, I guess I would say somewhere around 2017, 2018. I think 2018, 2019 is where it really started to, cement itself as something that maybe that's gonna stick. Because I had um a few hobbies and passions earlier, but they didn't really stick. So the main sort of hobbies that like have remained with me is artwork and film, and they're also somewhat related, thankfully. So yeah, something that I can study and apply what I've learned in both of them in making great art, movies and artwork. But yeah, I think I would say around 2018, 2019 is when it really started to cement itself as something that I would like to pursue. What do you do and how do you manage to make time for cinema? What do I do? Well, I'm far from getting a job at this point. I'm still somewhere in school, college. And how do I manage to make time for cinema? I don't. It's a struggle, especially now. It's a huge struggle to make time for cinema, and it's not so easy, As you grow older, at least in my experience, you always have a lot more things to do. So you're gonna have a lot many responsibilities, and you're gonna have to eventually end up making choices. And no matter whatever choice you make, you're gonna eventually have to pay the consequences for the choice you did not make. And so yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy making time to watch movies, but I mean, it's almost always a rewarding experience because I still love cinema and I keep making the time to watch it and catch up. And yeah, how do I manage to make time? I don't manage to make time. I just have to do it, and sometimes I have to suffer the consequences of not doing something else that I could or should have done instead of watching a movie. But I watched the movie, so yeah, that's what. Why so long to make a Q&A? Okay, so here's what, right? The last Q&A I made, I think, was for 300 subscribers. And what I had thought back then, this was a year ago, by the way, and what I had thought of back then was that I will do a Q&A at every 50 subscriber mark. So 300 subscribers, 350, 400, 450, 500. And then I thought, I'm just overdoing it. And I thought that 500 is going to be a real milestone because it's almost halfway point to 1K where you can start earning revenue. I mean, I know you're not going to earn much, but whatever. So I thought, let's do it at 500. And I was at around 300 a year ago, and it took me a year to get here, but here we are. So yeah, I really wanted to make it on a momentous occasion. I don't know when the next Q&A is going to be. Maybe 750 or maybe 1,000. I don't really know. I'm not going to really think about that much. I'm just going to focus on and celebrate this achievement. Congratulations on 500 subs. Thank you. Also, here's my question. Will you make a review on KGF Chapter 1 and 2 or Sardar Udham, please? I would really like to see a video on your thoughts on the movie Simhadri, directed by S.S. Rajamouli, since the movie's 20th anniversary is next year. Okay, so it seems he has asked quite a bit of questions. Um, Okay, will I make a review on KGF Chapter 1 or 2? As of now, I'm unsure because I'd seen KGF Chapter 1 years ago. I don't have a great memory of it, and I am not interested at the moment to revisit that world, which is also another reason I have not seen KGF 2. I know it's shocking. I mean, I'm sure it's nice or whatever, but it's not something that I'm interested in watching at the moment, so I don't think you can expect a KGF related video from me soon. And regarding the Sardar Udham review, if you're gonna look at the channel, I already have made a video on it a couple months ago. So yeah, I mean, if that's something you're interested in watching, you can go back to the channel and watch my review on Sardar Udham. And you would like to know my thoughts on Simhadri. You know, I've heard about it. Unfortunately, I have not been able to see it, but I'm pretty sure I will get to it one day because I'm also sort of in the middle of a Rajamouli marathon because I've seen the Bahubali films. I freaking love the Bahubali films. I rewatched them pretty recently and they hold up so well. Triple R is obviously a masterpiece that I've seen way too many times. And I actually watched Ega finally. I mean, so many people were telling me, like, how have you not seen Ega? Ega's the best Rajamouli movie, you know. And it's not, I would say. I still like the Bahubali films and RR better than Ega. But Ega is so much fun. It's a really good movie. Like, yeah. Sorry, I do not want this to be a rant on Ega. Um, but I'm pretty sure I will get to Simhadri eventually. And hopefully you'll get to know my thoughts on it once I've seen it. What are your all-time favorite movies and performances from all sorts of cinema that you have watched? Oh my God. Oh, these are the kind of questions that really, really force me to think a lot. You know what? I'm just gonna spitball some of these, some favorite movies of all time. Okay, there's Raging Bull. There is The Dark Knight. Recently, there's The Batman. What else is there? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Blade Runner 2049, Dune, Three Idiots, Triple R, Masan, Lagan. Then, I mean, I love Scorsese's movies. Goodfellas, Shutter Island, The Irishman. I love David Fincher's movies as well. The Social Network, Zodiac, Seven, Fight Club. What else is there? Christopher Nolan. I love Memento. I love Inception, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, as I've already stated. It's a pretty common one. There's Inglorious Bastards, the both Kill Bill movies, Parasite, Memories of Murder, Snowpiercer. In terms of superhero movies, I love Spider-Man 2, Black Panther, and I love Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the best Batman movie, don't at me. Yeah, here are a few favorites, and I'm definitely gonna be really pissed off I didn't mention a few. Like Paul Thomas Anderson movies, right? I love There Will Be Blood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know that's not a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I brought it up because I was reminded of Licorice Pizza, which is also a film I love. Yeah, Punch Drunk Love, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, The Lighthouse, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of films, obviously, but here are some of the ones that I could list off the top of my head. Performances. Daniel Day Lewis in There Will Be Blood. I mean, there's obviously Heath Ledger as Joker. I love Tobey Maguire's rendition of Spider-Man. There is Robert De Niro's fantastic work in The Irishman. That's one of my favorite performances. Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Jack Nicholson in The Departed, which is also another favorite movie of mine. Yeah, I guess I would say some of these. In terms of female performances, I love Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. I love Richa Chadha in Gangs of Wasipur, which is also another favorite film of mine that I forgot to mention. Amy Adams in Arrival. Alia Bhatt in Gangubai Kathiawadi. She stole the show in that movie. She was fantastic. So yeah, here are a few performances, and I know that they're super limited, and I really need to expand my sort of um thing into cinema, and I know it's very limited. I know, and also listing these at the top of my head are super difficult to do. But here are just a few noteworthy ones. I'm super sure that I'm going to be kicking myself later for not mentioning something so important. I know, I just know it, but I mean, you can't really help it, you know. But yeah, thanks for asking the question. Hey man, congrats on 500 subs. Thank you. I have the following questions for you. If you cannot take more than one, then just choose one. Okay, sure. I mean, I'll probably take all of them, hopefully. What is a genre you do not like watching? Don't like watching. I would probably say horror, but when I say horror, I mean like horror, like the Annabelle sort of films where it's not like The Shining or The Lighthouse, where the horror is like it's there, but it's less focused on jump scares and more on tone and atmosphere and unsettlingness and filling the stories on our own, and more weird and experimental. That stuff I love and that stuff I can take. But like the sort of films that, I mean, obviously do rely on atmosphere and tone, but are also aided by jump scares and in the moment shocks, I can't watch them, man. Because I will shit myself because they're too scary. So yeah. Do you remember your first time to the cinema? The first film I watched, apparently, according to what my parents had told me, was Amir Khan's movie Fana. But that I don't remember, obviously. But the film I have a vague memory of, at least the earliest film in my life that I have a vague memory of watching, is Three Idiots, which is pretty cool because that movie rules. What movie have you watched that made you say, I wish I directed this? Don't say RRR or any Rajamouli stuff. Okay. Okay, fair enough. I think Whiplash would be definitely be one of them because it's an indie film, but it's so intense, What can be said about Whiplash that has not already been said? But yeah, I've seen that film many times, and every time I see it, I really wish it was something that I had directed because, man, the filmmaking there is on fire. Is there any country cinema that you want to explore but you haven't been able to? I would definitely say Iranian cinema. I've heard great things from a lot of friends and from the film community, but I just have not been able to explore their cinema yet. But I hope to, and I most likely eventually will, because I'm sure they have fantastic movies that I will probably have a wonderful time watching. Lastly, which movie YouTubers do you watch and like the most? That is a super difficult question for me to answer. Well, I mean, definitely have to say, apropos of cinema, he's one of my good friends and he has collaborated with me on some of my videos, and I would definitely say that you give him a watch. Um, I would definitely say Cinema Beyond Entertainment is one of the biggest inspirations for me, and the way he has talked about films in on his channel has shaped the way I see films myself now. And some of my other favorite ones are like classic ones. There's Lessons from the Screenplay, Every Frame a Painting. I love High Top films. I love how unabashed he is with his takes. I like Houston Coley, Brown Table, films and stuff. He recently made a return with a Top Gun Maverick video after like a year of being gone, which is pretty sick. I love this channel called Loverboy Media, where he mainly makes videos on the films he loves and goes really in depth on why he loves them. Again, I'm gonna miss out on so many, but yeah. What do you think of Ranbir Kapoor as an actor? Also, how do you like his movies? And if you do like us, tell us favorite movies and his performance. I really like Ranbir Kapoor as an actor. I think he is one of the best actors working today in the Hindi film industry. I quite like his films. I mean, if I were to talk about his recent ventures in cinema, I'm not sure I would say I'm a huge fan. His films aren't bad, they aren't mediocre. I mean, they're good, but they're more close to mediocrity, and that's pretty upsetting to see. I am one of the few people who do not love the Marsha. I like it, but I think it has many flaws in its storytelling and its filmmaking. And I already have made a video on it. You can go watch that if you want to know why I didn't love it so much. Jaga Jasus is another film that I quite liked, but did not work for me as well. And in his recent two films, Brahmastra and Shamshera, I don't know, man. Again, they're not bad. They're just fine. And it's really sad to see this because I don't feel like Ranbir is being challenged. His acting props are being challenged in any way, or he's forced to do something new or different. And the movies themselves are pretty okay. So I'm not really loving his recent films, but two films of his that I really like, as far as I can remember currently, is Wake Up Sid and Rocket Singh. And his favorite performance, you know what? I don't like the movie Sanju that much, but I think his performance as Sanjay Dutt was pretty phenomenal. Um, he really embodied that role perfectly. Face reveal when? Oh God, face reveal. The reason I haven't done a face reveal is one, I don't think I am comfortable sharing camera space yet, like talking to the camera. But another thing is the fact that my face isn't a well-known face. It's not gonna get any audience because if I put my face in the thumbnail and the video, nobody knows who this guy is, right? And that's not the point. My identity, my face specifically, does not matter to the video that I'm making. The whole point of the videos I'm making is mainly about the film and my opinion of the film, which is why I use videos and photos. And it's also the kind of editing that I resonated with when I was watching other YouTube videos. So I just feel like if I were to just straight up talk on camera, which firstly I can't, it's gonna be super uninteresting as a video. You're not gonna have visual aid when you're watching the video, and you're just watching some random dude's face who has no relevance. If I was famous, let's say, if I had a very recognizable and bankable face, then maybe I would probably use my face to really sell the channel. But that's not the case. So my face doesn't really matter. Why do you named your channel such weirdly? Okay. Uh, again, I've said this in a different Q&A. My friend and I were coming up with names for the channel. She's not part of the channel anymore, but she was an editor. And basically, we were coming up with ideas and names, and she suggested Detox with P-Talks because, I don't know, she just said that detox is like you're, you're like relaxing and just listening to someone talk. P talks. P is the first letter of my name. So I was like, okay, detox with P talks has a nice rhyme to it. It's a bit corny, but I love it. And the reason there's an official at the end of this because is super stupid. So here's what, right? We had a channel called Detox with Detox, and we uploaded 3 videos on it, and both of us forgot the password to the Gmail ID. And so we're like, oh shit, we're gonna have to make a new mail and start a whole new channel. So when I made a second Detox with Detox channel, I was like, this is the official channel. So I just added official and the title, and I re-uploaded those first 3 videos here as well. And then I made sure to actually remember the password, and then I stuck to it, and this is the channel as it is now. Um, so yeah, the channel name is pretty weird, but it's I don't know, it's rhyming, it's unique, it's corny, and I love it. Please break down the screenplay of Lage Raho Munna Bhai. It's one of the best screenplays written in Bollywood. The way it uses the screenplay hacks is nothing but genius. Um, I would agree, at least from what I remember the last time I saw Lage Raho Munna Bhai. I think I really liked it as a movie. And I have made a video on the two Munna Bhai movies before. But I think I really need a rewatch to, take it in with new set of knowledge and learnings after I've seen many more films and a lot of time has passed by. But you know what? I will keep this in mind. I always have a list of video ideas. I will add this, and hopefully one day you're gonna see a screenplay breakdown of Lage Raho Munna Bhai. What are some of your upcoming videos? Okay, so for the most part, when I really have ideas, I almost always plan upcoming videos. Some of the videos I already have edited and are waiting to be put out. One of them is an analysis on the Dosti song in RRR, talking about why it works, its significance, its filmmaking, and all that. That's done, and it will come out at a very specific time. Then another video is actually a short film I made last year, and it's called Stalling, and it's a very simple film. Like if you've seen the Gotham Bat 2, it's nothing like that. This is just me experimenting in what I can achieve in my room. It's a very simple, overdone story about this dude who has to study, and he keeps stalling it and does other work in the process, and it's about him, how he wastes time and how he has to get the work done. It's just 3 minutes. It's very short, it's very sweet. I think it's a pretty good short film, and it's gonna come out soon. And another video is also another short film that I made unexpectedly. Um, and basically, the challenge here was that I was the director of the film, but I was never really on set with the actor. It's mostly a one actor short film, and the friend I was directing wasn't even in the same town that I'm living in. She's in a completely different town, and basically, the way I approached that film is I wrote the script with her and I designed my own shots and I did a whole storyboard regarding the film and also left her to fill in some stuff on her own, and she shot it, she sent it to me, I edited it, did all the sound, all the post production stuff, and I think we have a pretty decently good short film on our hands. So yeah, it's delayed. It's called Delayed. It's another very similar premise that you've seen in other films, and very similar premise to Stalling, where this person has to waste time when they really have a school assignment to do. It's nothing new, but I think the main challenge for me as a filmmaker is directing someone who's not even in front of you. So yeah, that was a ton of fun to make, and this will also come out eventually. And I had another video is a documentary, which is something very new for me, and it was for this event, and I made it with my friend, and I think it's pretty good, especially for a documentary and for the first time making a documentary. Because I made short films, and a lot of what I've learned in short filmmaking and YouTube video making, I have to combine to make a documentary. I watched a couple of documentaries. I studied how they're edited, like how they're made in general, and how they look and feel. And we did the best we could, and we made a documentary for the first time. And I think it's pretty solid. So that also may be coming out on the channel. But yeah, these are done videos. Like I have them completed on my system. Some other videos that I plan to put out are some more RRR videos. And this is not clearly just for milking RRR because I know it gets views. I really have so much to say about this film that I cannot help myself because the film has so many layers that I think it just makes for some fantastic video ideas that I would love to talk about individually. But I'm also currently working on a podcast with a friend regarding RRR, where we are going really, really in depth. Like, we have talked about the film for 2 hours, and we are talking about the movie linearly, and we still have not reached the interval point. So, yeah, we have too much to say about this movie. I've planned a video essay on Loki, the TV show. I didn't like it that much. The video essay is going to be about my favorite scene in the show and why I think it's pretty good. But yeah, other than that, these are the upcoming videos, and I hope they at least interest you guys because they certainly interest me, and I'm gonna put them out. But it'll be pretty cool if you guys are also looking forward to these. How many RRR videos are you gonna put out? Dude, seriously, honestly speaking, I have a video on Triple R's Dosti analysis. I'm gonna make a video on Komodo Himudo. Not kidding, seriously, I'm gonna just make a video on every song. I've already made a video on Natu Natu. Um, and I'm gonna make a video on how RRR uses its music. That is something I need to really work on and watch the movie a couple more times and also maybe not get involved in any copyright issues for that, but that's something I really plan to put out. But yes, I can never guarantee that I'm gonna stop making RRR videos because every week I get new ideas and it just doesn't stop. I can't help it. Are you excited for any Marvel content? Not really. Um, I used to be a huge Marvel fan, and now I frankly don't give a shit about their movies because most of their stuff have been bland. I mean, I love No Way Home, but it has a lot of the issues that these Marvel movies have, and I think it was a bit more forgivable because it was Spider-Man, and I liked a lot of the writing in it. But still, I feel like, especially Phase 4 has been such a major disappointment. I think ending Phase 3 with Endgame, I know it ended with Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't really give a shit about that movie. But Endgame was like a really solid conclusion. It's a film that I love. And After that, the MCU took a big hit with more duds than bangers, at least in my opinion, because everything, they're all going so larger in scale, but in terms of the actual writing and filmmaking, it feels so lacking. It, like, in terms of the storytelling and filmmaking department, it doesn't really feel like these people behind the film are really trying to convey an idea the best way possible through the medium of cinema. It really feels like products with themes and ideas just shoved in between for the sake of it, but nothing really lands. And even in the filmmaking, nothing feels purposeful or creatively oriented. Everything just feels plain and bland and studio mandated, and it's just not for me. It's really not for me. But Black Panther Wakanda Forever is an exception. That film is a complete different beast of its own. Black Panther, as I've stated on the channel before, is my favorite MCU movie. I've made a video on that as well, really going in depth in why I loved Black Panther. And Black Panther 2 looks really promising, and I really hope it works. Um, because the trailer was fantastic. It really feels like a Ryan Coogler movie. The shot compositions, the music choices, the emotions, feel like they all feel like they're from the mind of a real visionary, a real creator who cares and understands the medium of cinema rather than some boring, soulless corporate product. So, Black Panther aside, or even Spider-Verse 2 aside, not really looking forward to many Marvel projects. The one project I did really resonate with emotionally in Phase 4 is a project that not many people talk about, sadly, and that's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I really liked the filmmaking and character writing of that show for the most part. Another question that we have received is when is Batman 3 coming out? Okay, right. So once I finished Gotham Bat 2, I did not initially plan a Gotham Bat 3, so to speak. We did have a post credit scene, but that's mainly just because, just like for like, why not, right? We did that in the first Gotham Bat as well, but I had not really planned a specific part 2, and yet here we are. Initially, I was not gonna do a part two because then I just feel like I'm making a part three just for the sake of it. But for me, I did really want this sense of closure by having a Batman trilogy. And so I have a part three in mind, and I have had certain ideas mapped out. The villain is Riddler, obviously, as we shown in the post credit scene of part two. But I want to do something different. I do not want to just do an inferior version of part 2 again. I want to do something different, and so I imagined, just like Gotham Bat 2, it's going to be heavily inspired. The tone, the feel, and the filmmaking is going to be heavily inspired from the Batman. But part 3, I feel, is going to be more of a detective sort of movie than like Gotham Bat 2, which is more action based. I feel like there might be a bunch of action in part 3, but I want to have more focused, more steady, more patient filmmaking for this one. And I think, I mean, if this actually comes to fruition, it should happen by next year. And maybe we'll have more locations, we'll have a better suit, maybe, much better audio, much better camera, much better equipment. We're gonna up the stakes for this one. We're gonna actually have a proper budget because Gotham Knight 2 was made on no budget. But yeah, if it happens, I'll be really happy because this is another ambitious passion project of mine to finish. Okay, here are my two questions to you guys that you can answer in the comment section. Um, Number one is, what is your favorite video of mine on the channel that is not a short film? And the second question is, what's your favorite short film of mine? I would love to know what you guys think of these. Thank you so much for asking all these questions. It was honestly so much fun, and I had a great time. And it's really nice to have these Q&As because it really shows that I have an interactive audience that are content like constantly engaging with my content. And it also feels really nice to talk to you guys and to know that you guys actually care about what I have to say. And it really means a lot to me. I'm not just saying that. Again, 500 subscribers is a huge deal for me personally. I have worked here for years and I plan to continue doing this for as long as I think it's fulfilling. And Yeah, here's to reaching more success. Thank you guys for watching not just this video, but all of my other videos and short films and everything on this channel. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for this. I know I sound like a very gimmicky YouTuber right now, but I really feel like I should be grateful for this because it's not something I can do alone, and I need the support of people. And seriously speaking, I sometimes wait for people to comment on my videos, and someday or the other, I will see a very heartfelt comment where someone talks about how much they love my videos or how much they love the channel and for what I had to say regarding a movie, or whenever someone talks about their opinion of the movie or someone has to criticize my opinion, it honestly makes my day. Because in the end, I just know that whatever I have to say is being heard and is being engaged and talked about. And that is really something that fills me with a lot of joy and a lot of purpose. And it honestly makes my day. So, yeah, keep supporting the channel. I will try my best to keep this channel stable and alive and well and growing, hopefully. Thank you guys for watching, or more likely listening to this Q&A. And if you guys want another Q&A, well, help me get a lot more subscribers and maybe I'll host another one real soon. But yeah, thank you for listening or watching, and have a wonderful day.